So curling is another way to take your hair, and don't freak out. Like, you don't have to do super tight curls, and if you're not perfect at the curls, it's fine. Curls are supposed to be messy. Nobody has perfect, like, waves all the time, and honestly, ain't nobody got time for that all the time. So, we're going to start with clipping. Don't forget to clip your hair. It's very important. Oh no. Ha. For me, I really like to have control when I'm curling my hair, because one little, I don't know. I don't like to take a lot of time and effort to curl my hair. So, and I really, really hate those curls that have like little like things in them, or like your hair was tangled or it wasn't quite smooth enough. And that's like the one thing that bothers me on my end for doing it. And the fact that I'm the one doing it to my hair, I guess I have to care about that too. That's just how I am. That's just me and my weirdo hairstylist brain. So I am going to be curling with my flat iron. You can use a curling iron or a wand or whatever is easier for you. At this length for me, it's easier to control with my flat iron, and that's just what I dig right now. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I think it's important not to forget about this little short layer in the back, because if everything else is curly, unless you have a lot of hair. I don't have a lot of hair. So if you don't have a lot of hair, like me, to hide the fact that you were super lazy with your first big major section, don't forget about it. It's important. So these little hairs down here don't really get tangled. So I'm not using a comb, and I can control it easier with my fingers. But I'm just making sure that, you know, it's all smooth. It's all facing the way that it should face. And then I'm just giving it a little twist. Don't worry if you're not that good at this. I'm not going to look like I'm that good at it either. It is a completely different ball game to do to someone else versus yourself. Like, what was that? It's totally different. Your hands, you can't see the back of your head. Your hands are backwards from when you learn, from how you learn, at least how I learn. And it's awkward. You just have to figure out what works for you. And for me, I feel like that changes daily. So, some days are easier than others. Now, I'm going to tell you that there are two different ways, I think, to wearing your hair curled. Like, two major different ways. So the two ways are, they're all facing the same way, like they're all going back, or they're all going forward. They're just like all going in the same direction. Or you can do it a funkier way and do some facing one way and some facing another. There's so many different ways you can do that. But just the fact that some are facing one way and some are facing another makes it look like this, I don't know, chaotic in a good way curliness. And especially if you are in a funky phase of growing out your hair or length or something, it's an easy way to hide whatever you're trying to hide, if you were trying to hide something. But for right now, I'm just going to do it all the same way. So that it's just easier. It's just easier right now. It's easier to talk about it because I don't have to think too hard, because I know that they're all facing backwards. Which is fine with me. Okay, so I'm going to keep curling this. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so I wanted you guys to see this because I know the top can be kind of awkward to do, and there's really no real secret. But what I think is easier is to just kind of take long waist sections this way and just curl it backwards. Like I said, if you're doing the backwards and forwards and all kinds of ways curls, then you can do like some forwards and some backwards, but I think this is the less troublesome, the most basic way to explain it to you guys and to just show you that it's just probably easier this way. So maybe start out this way, and once you get the hang of it, do the backwards and forwards. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, those are super crazy curly, and what are you going to do with that? And don't worry about it. I'll show you. Just a side note, that has nothing to do with anything, but I am very impressed that this flat iron is not pink right now. I haven't had it for very long, but I just got my hair done a couple days ago, and so I'm pretty impressed that this thing is just not pink all over. I honestly didn't want a white iron, but that's all that they had, and I didn't feel like waiting for a different one. I know they just came out with some newer colors, but I am not a patient person. Especially not when my flat iron breaks and I need a new one. I am not going to wait 2 weeks to get one. Because I'm just not. Okay, so that's a basic gist, how to curl your hair. So I decided my part was going to be here this time, because I just thought my hair was laying better that way. And you can break through your curls. I don't like to break them up all the way, to be honest. I like the day to do that for me. But I do like making them big and kind of taking my fingers and going at my scalp. Not scratching. I'm not scratching my scalp. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this. It's just so that if you have like clear section lines like I tend to do, that it doesn't look like you have clear section lines when you're walking around with your curled hair and it's just sitting there in little designated areas. I like my hair to be in all areas. Okay. So, that's the basic idea of having your hair curled. I know it's messy, but it's getting hot in here and I already straightened it to show you what straight hair looks like, because maybe you don't know what straight hair looks like, and that's what it looks like. I did the curls, and then I like to wear my hair like this a lot. No questions. You can't tell that, you know, some pieces are too short, or some pieces are too broken, or some pieces aren't there. It's fine. You can't tell, and I like it, and there's no question. You can get a lot of volume out of it if you start those sections going backwards at this like top round part of your head right back here, which I think is fun. And then so from this style, you can do the same things that we did before. You can do, you know, part of it back. You can do two sides back, which I actually do a lot when it's curly because sometimes it's just too funky and hangs in my face. So you can do like back, you can do it big, you can you can pin it all up, which is fun because then you don't have to, here, I'll show you. So you don't have to slick it all the way back when it's curly like this. You can just start pinning stuff, which is nice because then you get that extra texture. So just an example of something one might do. Their hair is curly like this, but they want it up. I know I have some pieces hanging down, but it's really just a quick idea or a quick fix so you can get an idea of what I mean. Yeah, that's gonna bother me too. Don't worry about it. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's just a quick idea what it would look like with more texture in its pin back. You can work with the texture. It's not a big deal. I don't know what this looks like. Okay, see, I don't think that looks that bad. I really like it. Looks like I did it on purpose. Sorry. I like it. It looks like I did it on purpose. It looks like you got it out of your face. It actually kind of looks like you tried harder than you did, you know? Which I'm all for. But that's another option that you have. I really like it. If you did up your makeup and you put on a dress, it's like fancy. It's like, oh, I didn't try except for I tried really hard, except for I didn't try really hard because you know the secret. If that makes sense. I actually really like it. I might wear it like this. That's my cat. Nico, you want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi. He was sunbathing in the window. Alright. So we have done the blowout. We have done straight. We did curly. I showed you how to pin it back 2 different ways. I showed you how to pin it all the way back, part of the way back. Showed you how to do a twist. Let's see. We did blowout, straight, curly, half back, top back, twist back, all back. Okay, so that's 7 things. That's a whole week right there of hairstyles that you can do at this awkward. I should stop calling it awkward. Some people choose this link on purpose. It's just not my cup of tea for my face and my life. But I'm working with it. It's a journey. Here is a journey. Oh, I made it worse. Anyway. And so now I am going to show you a couple more options that I choose sometimes, whether I'm